So, we're back. We took a week off. Well, specifically Bay City Chronicles took a week off. I'm sure those of you who are normal viewers to the channel have seen quite enough of most of our faces here, because, I'm not saying we're obsessed with masks at all. No, nothing, not at all. Anyway, we're back to our regularly scheduled alternate universe saving shenanigans. And we've got our full cast of characters here tonight. We've got Secret Hitler, Dark Falls. We've got Covert Churchill, OPT Lawyer. We've got Obscure Putin, Nerestra. We've got Undercover Roosevelt, Crimson Avex. And we've got Mysterious Mussolini, Chameleon Ice. And I am your host, TGE, and that was way too many trips down Wikipedia and thesaurus.com to get that to work.
Sounds like it.
Involved with this. One of these things doesn't fit.
What?
One of these things is not like the other.
I mean, anyway, we are back. This is Volume 5, Sanctuary City. I believe this is issue 10, if my memory serves me correct.
It does.
Yep. Issue 10 is Memories of a Forgotten Fate. And for those of you who might not have been here last time, first of all, shame on you. You should be all caught up on this. If you are not caught up on this, I'll give you a quick little recap here. But when you're done watching us live or recorded, if you're watching this recorded, go watch the previous episodes now. If you're watching this live, stick here with us, chat a little bit, then go watch the other ones that are recorded. Links coming up in the Twitch chat right now. See, like I said, links coming up in the Twitch chat right now. But last time, some crazy things happened. First of all, Malkir was retrieved from the ocean with a fishnet. We've determined that in whatever universe we're in, Sudoku's still burned. We determined that Seraphim has pretty cool powers and can make people shut up on a whim. Unfortunately, it does not work for your GM. I'm immune. After that, it was sort of determined that Lionheart is a double agent. Lionheart being a double agent and working for the president while simultaneously lying to his mother, who is Blackheart. After that, everyone sort of went back to the palatial presidential estate here in this version of Bay City, which you can see a picture of currently on the screen, where a massive amount of food was made, and a bunch of it was consumed. And at the end of the dinner, Lionheart reappeared through a portal, sort of said that he had his next mission from his mother, and looked directly at Anton with the line of, "I need your ring."
Oh, I forgot that part.
Yeah, I had that one written down, but something else I remember happening, but I don't have it written, so, yeah.
What is it that you think you remember happening? I mean, there was the discussion of Malkir being used as bait to lure out Blackheart.
Yes.
That was a discussion. That was a discussion that happened.
Good. I thought it was. I still have it written. I'm like, did that happen? Did I fever dream? What?
I mean, Fever Dream is not a surprise. But anyway, this is Bay City Chronicles Volume 5, Sanctuary City, Issue 10, Memories of a Forgotten Fate. On the cover, basically, is that scene we just described, where everyone is sort of around a table, and Lionheart is sort of coming out of this portal, just not necessarily staring, but looking directly at Anton, sort of like hand out, gesturing towards it. And that's where we're going to start. You turn the page of the comic, and it's that same exact scene, except now we got all the motion going on. So that's where we ended. That's where we're going to pick up. Yeah, I've got my mission from my mother. Apparently, I need your ring.
How do you know about my ring?
Because she told me about it. As for how she knows, I have no bloody clue.
So Anton's kind of looking at this Dr. Casey. Can we trust him?
Why wouldn't we be able to trust him? He's been nothing but loyal so far.
Okay. Anton at this point takes the ring off and hands it to him.
I don't actually need your ring. Keep it for right now. I'm telling you.
You did say.
Yes! What I said was, I have my mission from my mother. Apparently I need your ring. I never said I needed you to take the damn thing off.
Well, fine then. Be more specific.
I
Use your words. Come on.
did use my words. I figured you having a soldier's background or whatever I'm told, you would be able to pick up on the context clues. Or is that something that, they don't teach on your world?
Just.
I don't think subtlety and Anton.
I've never really understood context clues. At least that's what everyone keeps telling me.
Malcolm kind of just looks at the conversation and just starts chuckling a bit. Realizing that Anton's dumb.
Are they like Blue's Clues? Do they have little paw prints on them?
Oh, I love that show. That show's really cool. I didn't get to watch it all that much, though.
At this point, Lionheart is looking around at Anton and at Lutra and at Kestrel. Just
Don't love me like that.
looks over at Malk here and just goes, I don't know you, but you seem like the sane one right now.
No, just don't ask him to do a Sudoku.
Malcolm kind of just looks over at Lionheart and just goes, "You don't know the half of it," and just kind of chuckles again.
Oh, no, I do know half of it. We talked about that one before, Malkir.
We just get a comic panel that's just a zoom in of Lionheart's face, and it's the most painful face palm. It's not just a face palm; it's a face palm with the fingers digging into the temple. It's like,
No, I totally know both half the battles now.
Oh dear.
Look, I don't exactly know why she would want your ring, or what properties it has. I'm assuming it has something to do with it being from your world and being able to. I don't know. If we knew what it was capable of, maybe we might be able to figure out what she's doing with it, because she compartmentalizes to the point where she doesn't tell everybody everything she's planning. Makes for if you don't know, you can't turn on people type of thing, which is a smart way to go about things, but makes it bloody difficult to get a beat on what she's doing.
Wait, so what exactly is your mission anyway?
I'm to go directly to her, quote, go find the obnoxiously loud one that's not furry and get his ring. I don't care how.
Well, at least she didn't say dead or alive.
I don't care how implies dead or alive. She doesn't care about him. She cares about the ring.
I can only imagine what she wants with said ring.
I don't know. Maybe she's going to propose to a new bullfrog and she likes the ring you have. I don't bloody know.
She's going to marry Jeremiah?
Wouldn't put it past her. Anything to get more power.
Well, it's a fairly ancient ring. This is Merlin's.
Wait, so if we're not going to give her the ring, then what are we?
So what's the plan then? Because if you don't need the ring now, but she needs the ring, what are we doing?
Well, trying to figure out what it actually... Trying to figure out what she would actually need it for. So if we know what it can do, we can try and figure out what she's attempting to use it for and try and stop her.
Well, I mean, Merlin existed in y'all's world, correct?
I mean, to a point. I mean, there's probably been people named Merlin, but nothing that comes my mind.
Not our Merlin, at least not in the capacity that he did in our.
Kestro actually kind of flies over to Anton, and he kind of like lowers his voice just a little bit. But he says, "Hey Anton, what if it has something to do with that guy who was in your ring?"
He
Like-
wasn't in the ring, but his power was.
Like, didn't he appear though after you used the ring with Lutra around? Like, I wonder if that's related to it somehow.
It kind of shudders at the memory of that.
I mean, it could be related to Gale, but that would be really weird. Why would someone who's out of fate in another dimension be important here?
What was Merlin's purpose in your world?
I mean, he was the downfall of Kismet. In the end, he gave us the key to unlock defeating Kismet.
Okay, but a ring. Was he a mage?
He was a mage. Sorcerer.
Thomas, you don't suppose that they're maybe looking at using the ring as a source of magic to draw energy, would you?
I mean, it's entirely possible, but even if you're using a ring that has that much energy imbued, one, what are you using to either draw into it, or two, what are you using to siphon it off with?
Well, she had all that weird technology she was siphoning Lutra's stuff off with. Maybe she is really good at siphoning energy.
Well, that's my concern.
So she's a vampire.
Well, my concern is she's going to be trying to harness energy to empower her crystal to once again give this terraforming a shot.
As you say that, Casey looks up at you and just has this look of pure pale terror on his face. Doesn't say anything. It just like you know that look of when someone's like they get the realization of something bad's about to happen and they can't say anything. That's the look of pure abject terror that is on Casey's face right now.
You don't suppose they know, do you, Casey?
I mean, highly unlikely that they know, but
You know what?
So 4 of our sanctuary cities were intentionally chosen for purpose. The agreement was that sanctuary cities were untouchable, that no mutants would attack them or try to invade them, as they were a safe haven for all humans. The sanctuary cities of he pauses for a second. Of Capricorn, of Leo, of Aries, and Aquarius all happen to be areas where elemental energy exists. And if they discover that, then there's a chance that they might try to harness that elemental power to enhance her crystal strength.
That sounds bad.
Yeah, bad would be one way of putting it.
So we just don't give her the ring then, right? Like, if this is it's gonna help her do that energy thing. I'm
Or we
assuming.
give her a fake ring.
Well, here's my concern. Is without the actual full knowledge that this is, in fact, the case, she may go hunting for the energy before actually trying to seize it.
Okay,
So-
and we don't want her doing that.
No, but we also have to be careful because she's probably sending some sort of advanced scouting, which is something that technically, while doesn't violate the terms of the sanctuary cities, is skirting awfully close to the line.
Well,
At
she's
this
a bad
point
guy.
At this point in time, do you really think she cares about sanctity?
Considering that probably about a third of her following is under the impression that she at least is good enough to follow the agreements that are set forth, I don't think she would want to lose that following right now, especially when she's in the predicament that she is.
She's not going to start it. She's going to wait for us to start it.
Or she's going to send. Oh my god. I just realized what she might be doing, and I don't like it.
What is it?
It's just legend and conjecture over here, but there's a story that I heard through, and I hate referring to her by this, but Kismet, about how each of these sanctuary cities, she thought it was funny that each one was named after one of the 12 zodiacs, because according to her, each one of those had a dark side to it.
Well, I mean, Kismet did have some followers that were the Zodiac. We smashed a few of them in our area.
Wait, so that wasn't just a tale to scare me when I was younger?
No. Question: do we have any of the coins left? Or are those all gone?
They are all gone.
Okay. I mean, yes, they.
Well, the ones you guys had access to are gone.
Yeah, we claimed some of their coins as we smashed them.
Coin. Oh, God. He looks over at the president, at Seraphim, and just goes, "You don't bloody think," and just sort of leaves the question hanging.
Lucius,
Right now, given that the president has a very pale complexion, you can still see his face getting flush with just concern.
Oh, God.
And given the timeliness of everything, my concern is that her knowing that we're here and what just happened in Virgo, that she may either try to attack all four at once or may lead a distraction somewhere else to sort of deviate our attention.
Well, there is one thing. She still doesn't know that I'm here.
Right, but at the same time, there's really not enough of us to fully split up and cover everything. I mean, we'd have to go 2 by 2.
I could somehow be part of every team.
Well, at this point, the president looks over at Casey. Casey, can I have a map?
Digital or Paper.
Digital.
Hold on. You can tell that Casey's been here before. He thinks for a second, goes down to his watch, pushes a couple buttons, and next thing you know, there is a giant projection of a map of the United States just coming out of his watch that is now projected onto the wall behind him.
Basically, imagine Tony Stark type stuff.
Yeah.
I'm saying Minority Report stuff, but yeah.
So the president sort of takes a small hold on. A small orangish type orb and throws it at the map, and it goes to where what would be in everyone else's realm, Vancouver, Canada, Vancouver, British Columbia. He's like, that's the sanctuary city of Leo. Then he takes another one that's a whitish blue, throws it at the map, lands in central what would be Florida, basically around Orlando. That is the sanctuary city of Aquarius.
Oh, Waterworld. Makes sense.
Then he takes one that looks greenish, throws it towards the map, goes into the southwest of the U.S. area, what would be Phoenix and everyone else's in the real world. That is Aries. And then he takes a yellow orb, throws it right in the Great Lakes area where Chicago would be, and that is Capricorn. Those are the 4 sanctuary cities. And no matter how fast you are, Mr. Squirrel, if they all attack at once, you are not in all 4 places at once.
Yeah, probably not. Though, wait a second, there's enough of us here, right? I mean, look at all these awesome heroes! We could easily cover these cities with these.
I mean, yes, to a point, but it's still going to be 2 by 2 for the most part. And even if we're 2 by 2, I don't know if that's enough.
Also, quick addendum. I screwed up. It's not Phoenix area. It's the Houston area.
Oh.
I read my note wrong.
Well, wait a second. How is she going to attack all the cities at once anyway? Like, can she be in all those places at once?
I guarantee you she won't be. She only gets her hands dirty when she absolutely has to. All the magic, all the power in the world is fine. But her greatest quote-unquote power is her followers and her minions. So she's probably going to have people to do this for her. And if what you guys have said is correct, that these, whatever they are contained within coins, it's not so far-fetched to think that these coins are already in place and just waiting to be activated.
I mean, it sounds like it'd just be easier just to go for her in the first place and just stop her before she even starts this.
Yes,
If she's near her crystal, that's a lot easier said than done.
exactly. Either way, say we do go after her at the crystal. If this attack works and she gets what she needs, we won't be faster. Not even you, Mr.
So, we were talking about using Malkir as bait. What if we use this ring as bait?
See, that's the thing, is she doesn't need the ring as bait. I'm supposed to be delivering the ring.
What if you were in danger? You're her son, right? So she cares about you.
She would just as soon let me rot in the fires of hell if it meant getting the damn ring.
Okay, so that's out.
There's no guarantee that he would even be safe after delivering the ring to her. Her true joy, sad to say, is not her son. It is her power.
What would she do if a stranger gave her the ring or a ring?
Probably the same outcome.
Thank you and kill you, more than likely.
So what you're saying is she has no trust or loyalty to anyone, even if someone proves their worth to her.
If you can,
She has no belief that she can trust anyone. If anyone sees her current position, or anyone sees anything that could slightly tip anyone off as to the location of this crystal of hers, she will not hesitate to eliminate them so that information cannot be passed along.
only reason I'm still alive doing this is because I'm able to fend for myself.
And she just so happens to think that you haven't blabbed any information yet.
Well, there's also that Agent Bullfrog guy, Jeremiah. Like, he's kind of a piece in all of this, too. Did you know what he was asked to do?
I don't. But if he's willing to help her, no questions asked, it's because he's at least been promised something out of this. I don't know what exactly it would be, but it has to be something big.
Well, speaking from a politician standpoint, what's something that's promised to people that always gets their allegiance? She could have easily promised him power, promised him his own continent, or anything like that.
You're not wrong there. I mean, and if someone's that ambitious,
I kind of feel at a loss.
I think that's how she wants us to feel, or at least she wants our enemies to feel.
That makes sense.
It's possible we're also overthinking this. We just need to get a way to get to her to stop her from.
No. We don't need a way to get to her. We need her a way to bring her to us.
Right, away from the crystal.
And what's one way to guarantee that she has to come out and do something herself?
Well, as the saying goes, it's like usually for bad guys. Like, if your lackeys are too stupid, sometimes you gotta just do the work yourself. So maybe if we stop all of her lackeys, she'll feel like she needs to do it herself.
That would be ideal.
Or if it's something that only her power could, but I don't know if that's anything that would require her to actually be here.
as this conversation's going on, you see Casey at this point has overlaid the map again with something that allows him to touch points, and he has actually added 2 more dots to this map in addition to the 4 that you've already had. One is at Bay City, where you guys are, and the 6th one is over in by Baltimore, or by Cancer, which you guys would know as Baltimore. And he looks and he draws a path from Leo or Vancouver to the dot in the middle of Chicago. Then connects Houston to Chicago, Orlando to Chicago, Baltimore to Chicago, and Bay City to Chicago.
What kind of a shape does that make?
It's a 5-pointed star.
Oh.
Or, if you want to think on the dark art side of things, and Lionheart just goes, It's a pentagram.
She gotta summon something between all the cities?
I don't know what her goal is. As I said, I just know this is where the energy that we are aware of is contained.
I mean, I guess at this point, we can sit here and keep trying to figure it out, or we can just sort of dive in head first and hope we're right.
But dive in head first where? Like, which place first?
The four named
Oh.
cities.
Right, like the split up idea, right.
Right. Capricorn, Leo, Aquarius, Taurus.
Well, I was actually just thinking about that, Mr. President. You showed that you were able to do that really awesome teleport thing and just zap people from place to place. Like, do you think maybe if we split up and then we find out where things are really happening at, like we just communicate with each other and then you could just get people to the places they need to be?
I could. That would be assuming that, everything wouldn't happen at once. But also remember, let's say people come down on Capricorn and we teleport everyone there and Leo's left exposed. We no longer know if anything's going on in Leo to get someone back there.
Yeah.
So we do have to be careful about that as well. I say there's 8 of us here.
I only see 7.
Who's missing?
I mean, there's the 5 of us. There's the president. There's the otter, the squirrel, the loud one, the quiet one, myself, and Ven is in the other room. That's 7. Where's your 8th one, Mr. President? Oh, you're not.
The president gives a smirk.
Oh, you're not!
I think I need to get a hold of Rebound.
For God's sakes! Really? Really? Of all the other options you can come up with, that's the one you want to do?
What's wrong with Rebound? He seemed like a nice guy.
Oh. Is this where you're going to get angry? Because my next suggestion might take you over the deep end. I want to send Rebound with the otter.
What?
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 We just get the comic panels. It's everyone going, what? In the other room, there's a panel of Hunter. What?
Yes. We need to strike. Just zoom in on Hunter.
And while that's going on, since Melchior doesn't know Rebound, he's just going to have to get more food. Like, unabashed.
So, here were the areas where I was going to suggest that we would send Sir Lutra here with Rebound down to Capricorn. That we would have the squirrel and the human machine.
Why does Lutra get the CERN?
We would send them. Oh, I would probably say send them to Taurus. Send the dude who isn't supposed to be here, apparently, along with Ven, up to Leo. And then I will go with Lionheart. To Aquarius.
Yes.
I mean, it's not the worst situation, I suppose.
It's at least a plan, so it's something we can do. And we just need some sort of like high-tech walkie-talkies or whatever to communicate with others, so we can just keep tabs and everything.
I can take care of that. And Casey just, again, like he's been here before, walks over into the other room, comes back, and he's got basically little earwigs in his hand. These should work. He specifically looks at Lionheart. He goes, and yes, they won't even interfere with your magic.
Ooh.
Like, they're not wiggling or anything, are they? They're just like...
No, they're like the little earwigs. It looks like an earplug.
Oh, earwig! I was thinking like earwigs, like the bugs.
No, we're talking like CIA level communications here.
Gotcha.
Okay, sure. Richard walks up, grabs one of those, and tries to fit in the ear. It takes a little bit longer, but he does get it in.
Also, one more thing, and you see some weird, strange gesticulations, and these sort of, orbs, the same colors as the one that you see in the map, sort of appear in Lionheart's hand. And he hands one to each of the three groups. If everything is correct, and from what I understand, these, in theory, should react when you are close enough to whatever source she's trying to obtain. Again, in theory.
And what do we do when we get to that source? We just stop whatever's trying to get it, right?
Protect it however you feel needs to be done.
I just had a bad idea.
Like those.
What if we put all this... Are these sources movable? These things that she's trying to get, do you think?
They're not. They are just an energy. There's nothing physical that actually contains that energy.
I was thinking it'd be nice if we could just get them and put them all in the same place so we could just, like, protect one big thing.
That's never that easy.
Yeah.
But hey, guess what? You get to hang out with me again, so, you know.
Yeah, we get to be buddy cops again.
I'm sure that'll
great.
go well.
At this point, Casey just looks over at Seraphim and goes, Did the squirrel just say buddy cops? Because there's part of me that's scared and the other part of me that really wants to market that as a TV show.
I just got the really bad feeling that they've worked together before and it turned out into a lot of concerning results.
I believe the word you're looking for is hijinks.
I believe the word I'm looking for is collateral damage.
From what I understand, there was a lot of that.
It was mostly Anton's fault. A little bit.
Hey!
Something about threatening his wife or something. And
Yeah, we're gonna have to worry about this time, because she's not even here.
yeah, the entire building ended up dead.
Yeah, that was a...
Squirrel with a pile driver.
Wait. What?
The door was in my way. Listen,
We got it. Don't worry.
all I'm saying is that we work well together, so what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, I missed that too. That made me sad.
Yeah, we should be fine. Besides, I think Malkier's worked with Ven before too, right? Like, well, not that Ven, if I remember that correctly?
Considering this is at this point, Ven walks in. Considering this is the first time I've met most of you, no, I haven't actually worked with any of you.
We kind of know you from the other. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, I got a good feeling about this. And we can handle this. And if we have any problems, we just contact each other.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be in constant communication.
But actually, there's something that we don't really know. You said just protect the energy sources that we have to. How long do we have to protect them for? Like, is she just going to keep sending guys towards it? Or is it going to be one of those things where, like, just if we keep at it long enough, like, maybe eventually she'll show herself or make some mistake? Like, I'm not sure what we're going to be waiting for.
Well, she can't, as the president said, she cannot be willing to take too much of a risk with skirting the rules just yet. She doesn't want to lose her fun. So my bet would be it's going to be a one thing that if it happens to get out, can be written off as something that was a accidental freak of something happening that cannot be traced back to her.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, well, I expect her to possibly attack all 4 spots at once. I don't expect it to be a great undertaking to where it causes a lot of attention to be drawn towards the fact that it's happening.
Right, that makes sense. So we have to keep our eyes peeled. Well, no, we have those energy seeking things. So, yeah, that'll be great.
There's one thing I've never really understood. How exactly does one peel their eyes anyway? I mean, why would you do that? That sounds terrible.
Wait, you don't have the eyeball candies in your world?
No. Well, I guess sometimes around Halloween they make candies that look like eyeballs, but...
They're squishy and gummy and liquid filled, and they're very sour and they're delicious.
No, they're just chocolate.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, and you can tell the flavor by the color of the eye itself. I mean, the blue one is blue raspberry, and the brown one is chocolate, and the green one is apple.
At your mention of blue raspberry, Lucha just kind of shudders. It's like, and he suddenly just turns and walks away.
You forgot about that.
Oh, goody.
Oh, you didn't do that on purpose?
No, I didn't.
I actually thought that was like right on the nose. Nice. Hey, where is Rebound at anyway?
At this point, you hear a yes.
Lucha looks up.
He's sort of at this point because this is what he is wont to do. At this point, you see him, and you're not entirely sure how nobody noticed him getting up there, but he's currently hanging off of the chandelier, like perched on the chandelier, sort of crouching and looking down at everybody.
Hi, Rebound.
Wow. Have you been up there the whole time?
No, I just got up here.
Oh.
Wait, you're telling me none of you saw me?
No.
I guess we were kind of distracted by the eyeball.
Yeah, I mean, you looked a little pale when he mentioned the blue raspberry ones. Those are my favorite. Also, I can't wait for Halloween so they can come back again.
It's just fidgets.
Oh, they're only run during Halloween? Nuts. I was hoping we could grab some when we go out.
I'm sure that we can find a way to get you. I'm sure that someone has some connections somewhere. I mean, I know there's a great little C-store down the road that has salt and vinegar crickets.
I'm not much for bugs in terms of eating them.
They're not as bad as you think. They're very crunchy.
That's as bad as I think.
Anyway, I suppose we'll all want to be going to our separate locations?
Oh, yeah, I guess that would be...
About how long do you think we have until this happens? Like, are we going to be in these places for days?
Potentially. Who knows?
But the sooner we can get there, probably the better.
True.
Does everyone have a quick way of making it to their areas?
I can handle that if we need to get people there.
I can fly a jet, if we had one.
And at this point, you just see Lionheart sort of do one of these things and just... And one of those really weird blue and black line portals appears and goes, that one would be for you two to go up to Leo.
I have an important question. Why are we sending the people that have instant teleportation powers together instead of separating them and putting them with people that don't have those powers?
Ven looks at you, and you assume I can't do that?
Malkir just looks over at Ven and kind of motions him forward and just lights a candle on the table.
He looks at you.
Kestrel, I need to make sure that if Darkheart does attempt to go after Lionheart, that he is protected, given that he's critical to our plight.
That makes sense. Well, I guess it goes without saying, but if anybody runs into any trouble, don't be afraid to ask for help.
For sure. And that's the other thing is I trust Lionheart to be able to take care of someone one-on-one or to immediately leave to support elsewhere. So me leaving one of us solo is a lot better than leaving one of you solo who's unfamiliar with this area.
That's fair.
So, for the record, there's your portal to Capricorn if you'd like it. At this point, Rebound jumps down and inadvertently kind of jumps down and lands on Lutra's back.
No! Which he catches him because he's...
No. Rebound like jumps and lands like he's piggyback and then just sort of jumps and flips off.
Ow! Hey, ow. Let's be careful with that, okay?
I barely touched you.
That was weird. How'd you do that anyway?
I jumped. What? You've never seen someone do a front flip before?
I mean, I'm sure I have.
At this point, he runs up the wall and does a backflip.
Watches this like, okay. Yeah. Capricorn,
So,
huh? I've never really been a fan of corn, but yeah, I guess I could go.
So we get the 4 concurrent panels that are everyone sort of teleporting in. So it's Lutra and Rebound walking through this one portal. Lionheart closes that, opens up another one for Kestrel and Anton.
Just before we go, Kestrel actually goes around and gets a doggy bag worth of made. That was some good stuff, and he needs some CDC leftovers. Then he goes.
Yep. So that one closes. We get the Malkir grabbing Ven and teleporting them through the candle, which is a little weird, but kind of awesome. So that just leaves us with Lionheart and Seraphim, and he just looks, your way or mine, Mr. President.
I haven't walked through a teleporter in a while.
Very well then. Here we go, and that same portal appears. So, as much as fun as it would be to have 4 different scenes for all of this, I kind of want to keep the combat consolidated to one screen here. So we're going to get the generic combat background for when we eventually get there, if we get there, and we will sort of get the scene description. So we're going to start. We're going to go in order there. So we're going to start with the first scene being Lutra and Rebound walking out of this portal, and you walk out of this portal, and you're definitely in some version of Chicago, but it definitely has a much more grim and grisly feel to it. Like, the crime rate sort of here before it became a sanctuary city was something fierce. For lack of a better description, you're getting very much a Gotham City feel for those who, for a good description there.
Gotcha.
And where you step out, again, you see the wall, but you step out, and the reason I said Gotham City is because you're at the outskirts of, for lack of a better description, what appears to be the ruins of an insane asylum. Yes, I'm completely ripping off Arkham here. I don't care. But that's sort of where this portal drops you off. And this is right outside the walls of the city. Still close enough to be considered part of the sanctuary itself. But it's sort of that part, like it's sort of like that one part of the slums that nobody ever wants to go to, and most people forget even exists.
Huh. Not really quite the same the city I was thinking it was going to be.
And the yellow orb that Rebound is carrying starts to pulse as you look at these ruins.
Oh. That thing's pretty handy.
Yeah, but did you... I don't want to go in there!
Oh, come on, it can't possibly be that bad.
Look at this place! Like, this is just creepy and scary. It's like a really, really weird haunted house. I don't want to go in there!
Oh, I'm sure it's not haunted. There's no such thing as ghosts. Well, except Spectre, Phantasm, a few other things we've seen. Okay, well, there might be ghosts, but it'll be fine.
You can't even lie right.
I'm not really good at lying.
Why did he... It's okay. Gotta be brave.
Lucha walks up to Rebound's side and pats him on the shoulder. It's like, oh, come on, it'll be fine.
He jumps like 3 feet in the air when you do that.
Lucha waits. Like the comic panels, Lucha were waiting patiently for him to come down. He lands back down, pats him on the back, and says, okay, it will be fine. Come on, just follow me.
So we definitely get the panel of them sort of walking in, and Lutra is about a, what, 5'2" type of deal?
5 foot flat.
Yeah. So Rebound is about 5'1", 130. So he's slightly taller than Lutra, but he's trying to sneak behind Lutra, so it's very Shaggy trying to hide behind Scooby-Doo.
Right.
And it's not working at all, but it makes him feel better. So we just get like 3 or 4 panels of them, of the in sync walking, and every time Lutra stops, Rebound sort of ducks for cover.
All right. So what exactly are we looking for in here?
I mean, whatever this thing is going to lead us to, I guess.
Okay.
So you walk up through the gates and into the ruins of this this insane asylum, and you're following the path of the pulsing getting farther and farther, and it's going to eventually take you to what you can imagine would be the warden's office, the man in charge's office. So why don't you describe sort of what this room looks like?
This place has been decrepit, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So, the warden's office. It used to be large enough. Well, it is large enough that it has a conference table, things like that. Where the warden would meet not just with few people, but would meet with teams of people. But clearly, this is one of those rooms that has seen much better days. The walls are crumbling slightly. There's at least 1 or 2 holes into the next room. Windows are boarded up. There's no glass in a few of them. The ones that do have it are just completely covered in remnants of mud, rain, and whatever else. The desks are still there, if not swarmed with like different types of animals that have lived there and then aren't there any longer. Like little critters or whatnot. The place has clearly been chewed up by time.
So you get there, and you're in the middle of this office, and this thing has gone from slow pulse to a quick pulse to now it's lit up like a Christmas light. So somewhere in this room is what you're going after.
Okay, so it looks like it's here. Where would it be?
I mean, I don't know. And as you sort of say that, you hear behind you, I can probably be of assistance with that, if you'll let me. And as you turn around, there is what appears to be, a young woman, blonde hair, fairly muted, worn down pink dress, just sort of casually leaning up against the entryway to this place.
Oh, hi. Who are you?
Just somebody exploring and looking for something.
I see. Richard, kind of watches her and backs away further, kind of in a protective stance kind of thing. Like,
Oh, why are you being so protective and defensive?
might have trust issues.
Oh, funny, I thought that maybe it was my shocking appearance. And we're going to leave it that hanging as we turn the page. This time, we get the portal, and appearing is Kestrel and Anton. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cede the floor to the quote-unquote resident expert about this. Nora, Anton, you appear on the outskirts of Taurus, which we all know is Houston. So, what are we looking at the walled city of Taurus?
Swampland. And trees. Yeah, mostly swamp and trees. You can see the walled city. And the remnants of kind of what would be a more rural lifestyle in the area.
No tumbleweeds?
One goes by in the background of the comic panel.
Wrong section of this. Wrong section.
Yeah, that's Dallas Fort Worth.
This isn't quite what I pictured when I thought of us going to a city.
It's probably seen better days.
Well, nothing to do us but see if we can try to find this thing and protect it.
Yeah. Well,
Have you ever
let's
been
get
here
started.
before?
Well, not here, but here, yes.
Right, that silly question.
You and I are from the same one.
Yes.
So whoever has this orb, this green orb that you have, it is doing that slow little baby pulse, like boom, 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 like it's detecting something, but it's pretty far away.
Oh, because it's like a metal detector.
Ish.
Sweet.
Well, we have two options.
Okay.
We can fly,
I like that idea.
or we can go on foot.
I like the flying idea.
Problem is, we don't know what's here.
No, but if I go out fast enough, I can find where this thing's beeping the hardest, and then we at least can kind of know where we got to be heading instead of just looking around aimlessly.
Well, that is a better solution, but then we're separated.
Oh, let me for a second.
Okay, go for it.
Alrighty.
Anton hits a couple buttons on the Anton and puts up a folding chair outside. Tent. I'm just gonna sit here for a moment.
Doing the hard work.
All right, so you are flying around the sky of the walled city of Taurus, and this thing, it starts beeping and beeping. You get the and where you get the most solid levels of beeping is you look down, and it's sort of like because you're in the air. This almost looks like it's a giant bowl. It looks like a giant bowl-like structure.
Like a stadium?
That's exactly what this would be. This would be the ruins of NRG Stadium. Because, when you're kind of under lock and key like this, sports takes a back seat. So, yeah, this is sort of on the outskirts of everything. It's not in complete disarray, but it definitely hasn't been used in a fair bit.
And I get a sense of that beeping gets strongest above this area.
Above the area, it's that solid glow.
Okay. If I go lower, do I notice if there's anybody moving around the area? Is it inhabited?
Roll me a perception test.
Ooh, first roll of the night.
Whee! Okay, perception. And 30.
And 30. Well, considering you're going lower, there are, it's a stadium. There are nooks and crannies everywhere. So you sort of do your zip, 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 zip.
Yeah.
And in basically any and all of the stands and any of the outdoor areas and the sort of tunnel areas that are easily accessible, you don't see anybody.
Okay, that's encouraging. I'll zoom back then to Anton, who I'm assuming is drinking a lemonade or something that he somehow has.
Probably.
He turned the Anton into a iced tea machine.
Exactly. Anton, I found it. It looks like what used to be a stadium of some kind.
Oh. Okay. Well, shall we go?
Absolutely. It's this way. And wait, we probably should fly. You still have the car, right?
Anton hits a button on the chair, and the gaudy flying car comes out.
Alrighty.
Should I change the paint scheme?
Absolutely not.
The gaudy flying car. I love every minute of this.
Quick, into the Anton-mobile.
So, you guys...
You can see it too, can't you?
Yep, we get the comic panel that is this gaudy, gosh-awful, Harry Potter-esque, ridiculous gold flying car with what apparently is, we have Moose and Squirrel flying in a gaudy flying car over to NRG Stadium.
You've got to see if Dr. Casey can make this thing go faster.
Yep. We'll put in that request later.
Hey, Anton, I mean to ask you something.
Yeah.
Do you think we're actually going to get back home?
Who knows? Yeah, Anton's is not necessarily thrilled with that answer, but he's well aware of not at home is kind of where he is not happy right now about. He's not thrilled to be here.
Not a lot we can do about it.
Thrilled to be here.
Well, I mean, there's other reasons for that. aforementioned wife and kids. Or kid to be.
Yes. We'll get back home. I know
So
it.
you guys make it to the stadium, and I'm assuming you're landing.
About
Imagine.
midfield. It sounded like the roof was not there.
Yeah, the roof is not there.
Yeah, so midfield.
Yes, so you land midfield. And when you land, you hear, like, as you land, the car turns back to the Anton, and you hear a drum line?
I didn't see anybody when I was here.
And coming
That's why
from
Mr. Fox is here.
one of the tunnels isn't just the drum line. It is a full-on marching band.
He's so excited for me.
Like,
Can I play the
Well-
tuba?
full-on marching band. They're just like you're getting a performance, like, you know, the marching in, like, you know, picture any college halftime show. That's kind of what they're walking out and giving you. It is just this sort of full-on marching band performance.
Extremely important question. Are they in step?
Yes, they are. And they're
Fantastic.
in step because from the front leading them, there is someone in a gaudy, magenta-colored suit with a top hat, and definitely one of those, like, not like a conductor's baton, but like one of those, like, sorcerer's walking sticks with a giant orb, just walking and leading this marching band procession.
If he doesn't start breaking down, this ain't working. He's got to break down and dance it.
I mean, basically, here's the best way I can describe this. If you have never seen the music video for Big and Rich Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy, this is what's happening. It's that bridge scene where they're all walking like this. That's 100% what's happening here.
Okay. Yep. I'm cool with this. Totally cool with this.
I really hope these aren't the guys we gotta fight, because I like watching them.
They are entertaining, but yeah, we're probably going to have to fight them.
So they finally reach up to you, and that's when they finish the performance, and the guy with the scepter sort of stands down, puts the scepter on the ground, and just sort of standing there staring at you two.
I applaud.
Good show. Now, why are y'all here?
It's kind of dangerous out here.
You're telling me that even in times of crisis that we can't practice an art that can bring smiles to people's faces.
Where are the people?
Hence the practicing.
Not pretty good. You don't need practice.
And for the record, I'm the people.
You're the people?
And a really weird smile crosses his face. And the last panel we get is just sort of like the weird Joker smile on his face.
And I was looking at Kestrel. I don't like the sound of that.
And we turn the page. And we're now going to get our third set here. And this is sort of like the weird teleport in, because this was sort of the through the fire teleport. So unfortunately for Malkir and Ven here, because of the way Malkir's teleport works, they're going to end up teleporting into into an alleyway where there is a bunch of homeless people around a trash can fire. Because I didn't want to go fully stereotypical of teleporting into somebody's living room with a fireplace. So we're in the alleyway. There's a bunch of people. Like it's a little like it's one of those like bigger alleyways where there's a bunch of sort of like the homeless community all gathered around. You know, they're talking. It seems like they're fairly jovial, having a decent time. There's definitely some flasks being passed around. Over in the corner, there is a box, like a decent cardboard box, and in it is just a cavalcade of different fingerless mittens. So it's basically an all-you-can-eat buffet of fingerless mittens to wear.
So Melchior kind of just looks around and Do they seem hostile, or do they just seem like? Do they recognize? Do they like know that we're there?
They definitely see, because you guys make a big pop, and you basically appear out of the trash can, and you both sort of land. So you're all definitely, you both, Malkier and Ben, are both getting stared at by these guys, by these people, this sort of community. But they don't seem overly hostile. They're more like, wait, why the hell did two people just pop out of our trash can?
So Malkier kind of just looks at Ben and goes, "Any ideas?"
Yeah, hold on. Brushes himself off. Looks at the people. You guys never saw us? You're all good? And he just sort of reaches into his pocket and goes, you know something? I got some. And this is still like the 18-year-old version of Ben. He reaches back into his wallet, opens it up, pulls out like $300, which there's no way he should have, and just hands it to one of the guys and said, you guys eating on us tonight. Hands him the money, puts the wallet away, and just sort of walks out the alleyway.
And everyone's like, I saw nothing.
Malkier kind of just looks over his shoulder and just kind of walks after Ben and just kind of chuckles.
I mean, I guess what we should be doing is he pulls out the orb, is following this thing. And this is a brownish, sort of gold-colored orb. It was, again, the same colors that you saw earlier. And it's definitely got that pulsing. And this one's a little bit bigger, a faster pulse than the other two. So obviously where you teleported in is a little bit closer to where this would be going. So Avenger looks at you. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, but you and your friends, for some reason, even though I've never met any of you, I feel like I know you. Does that make sense at all?
It does. We have worked together in my room, so we are possibly akin to each other cross realm.
Interesting.
So, where is this orb pointing us? How well do you know this area? What am I looking at?
I don't know this area very well. I'm from the other side of the country. I've never been to here before. I couldn't tell you. I just know that apparently this is supposed to lead us to where we're going, and it keeps pulsing faster, so I'm pretty sure we're heading in the right direction.
Can I do a perception check to see if I notice anything outside the norm?
You certainly can.
Where is my sheet?
On roll 20.
Thank you, Captain Lewis.
Wow. So you're looking around, and I'm assuming in his travels, in his previous life, Malkir's been to probably every large city on both sides of the continent. So he's definitely been to Vancouver before. For the most part, things are very similar. So nothing sort of seems out of the ordinary, but you sort of look around, and your eyes sort of keep bringing back to one thing, and based on the direction you're going, and sort of your sort of assassin sense, for lack of a better term, if you were going to be trying to hide something that was, magical in nature, you would probably hide it in something that would disguise it very well, and that people wouldn't be looking for something magical in. So it keeps bringing your gaze back to the Gastown steam clock.
To the gas what?
The Gastown steam clock.
Alright, so Malkier would look over and just motion to him to follow him, and then start heading that direction. His interest was kind of piqued.
So you guys, you keep walking for a little bit. It's kind of quiet, but you get there, and you're in. It's still nighttime, but you're in the middle of what appears to be like just a town square, and this looks like a regular old clock. It's called the steam clock because it's actually a steam powered clock, and there are certain times of the day where you can actually see steam being released from this clock. Very, very steampunk in nature here. So you're there, and do you have any sort of, is perception sort of like your only assassin thing, or do you have like an expertise assassin or anything like that?
Let me double check. Hold on.
If not, perception will be perfectly fine as you approach this steam.
I think I have something. It would be under advantages or skills, right?
It would be in the skills section. Nope, I don't see it, so just go ahead and roll perception.
Alright.
Who are you, and what have you done with Dark Falls? So you're approaching this clock, and you're looking around, and you look over into one of like sort of the side alleys, and most people would miss it, but you definitely saw a little bit of motion there, as if someone was trying to hide from your approach.
Do they know that I saw them?
You don't know, but based on the way they were moving, it was a trying to hide out of the way. So you're pretty sure they weren't paying attention to where your eyes were looking.
Okay, I do have somewhat of stealth. I'm going to attempt to sneak up on said person.
Mm-hmm. So you sort of walk up, and there's not too many places to hide. So you do a decent job of hiding with what you've got, but you make your way into the alley, and even though you're on edge, you definitely weren't expecting this. It appears to be like a 13, 14-year-old boy. He's decked out in what appears to be, well, you would know them as definitely like cat burglar's clothes, or something akin to allow for good movement and stealth. So he's basically dressed up in all black, and he just sort of has this look on his face like, I just got caught, oh no.
What are you doing here, boy?
Just trying to find something to eat.
At this time of night, wearing that?
I mean, you never know who's going to be around, so you have to take precautions.
So Malkir is going to yell over to Ven to come over. I'm also going to do an intimidation roll to try and assert myself some more.
Okay. So Ven walks over, and you're sort of sitting there just being sort of uppity and grumpy. So typical Malkir. What's up? Why you calling me over here? You just ran off. What's happening?
I just kind of like a motion to the kid, just like staring the kid down. Though.
Do you really need to scare the small child?
Yes.
What do you think he's going to do? I mean, you look at him. You've already got him scared.
You do know what people are capable of, regardless of the age they are.
As you say that line, we get the next comic panel, just sort of zooms in on this kid's face, and there's a Cheshire Cat grin, and these glowing gold eyes is the last comic panel we get from there. As we turn the page to our final twosome, which is going to be over down in Orlando, which is Seraphim and Lionheart. So I'm just going to set the stage with Prim, go ahead, pick your damn Disney attraction, because I know that's where we're going.
We're actually not going to Disney.
Oh, I'm so disappointed.
Wow.
At this point, I don't even.
We're going to see Shamu.
Oh, okay.
Actually, that makes total sense. So they appear in the middle of the city on the outskirts of SeaWorld. The description is all yours.
So basically, much like the other sanctuary cities, there isn't much left of any attractions within the city. Mostly because here in Aquarius, people have been so paranoid that they aren't really concerned with, going to theme parks, and um, also the fact that most of them are residents of the Florida area, so they've been there quite a bit and don't really find much amusement in amusement parks that they've been to constantly. Now, the city does have like a glass dome over it to protect against the weather. In solstice, storms pretty much come across the what would be the Atlantic much more than the Gulf. So while Houston would normally get hit in the other world, it is pretty much all Florida that gets hit by all the major storms. So they have a lot of preventative storm cover over the area. So basically, it's a huge. Trying to think of the best way to describe it. I mean, I guess if anyone's seen the Truman Show, it's basically one of those domes, just encompassing the whole sanctuary city. And in the middle is remnants of Disney World. Now, some of the stuff does still work just because some people want just a few things to do in their spare time. But it's the remnants of Disney World, Universal, SeaWorld, and in SeaWorld, basically all the tanks and everything that the fish and the whales and the sharks and the dolphins were all kept in are basically drained. There's no water in them. So it's basically just a shell of cement and glass.
Blackheart sort of looks over at you. Seeing all this really motivates you to try and figure out a way to stop this, huh?
You should have seen this all when people actually came here and enjoyed what was here. Everything else, the city definitely had a different feel to it.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard the stories, but I can only imagine. Anyway, he pulls out the blue orb. It's got that pretty heavy, steady glow to it. I think we're in the right place.
Yeah, given that there's a lot of water energy here, I would assume that this would be the place we would find it.
Just a random question here, and of all places, why would you send the sea creature to the electrical?
Why would I send the wind element to the earth energy? Why would I send the earth element to the wind energy? Opposition can create an advantage just as much as a disadvantage.
Fair enough, I suppose. So, are we just assuming we're going to have an innocuous form to deal with, or are we just going to get straight into whatever the hell this is supposed to be?
Well, on our side, I'm waiting for the amusement is all. I'm quite interested into what your mommy dearest has in store.
Yeah, I kind of am too, all things considered. And then you hear, well then, it's a female voice. If you're here for the show, I suppose I'll have to oblige you now, won't I? And it's this rather studious-looking woman with about shoulder-length blonde hair. Like this, your stereotypical almost librarian glasses. In this sort of not like a wetsuit type of deal, but definitely some aquatic research clothing, I guess is the best way to describe it.
You seem to be dressed for the part of like 10 years ago.
Well, I wasn't exactly sure what I'd be getting into here, but I suppose I should be honored that of everything to happen, I get the honor of seeing you, Mr. President.
Forgive me if I am not in tune with who you are exactly.
Oh. My name is Dr. Haley Winters. And before all this went down, I was a researcher, mostly in the marine biology field.
So you're human.
I am. But you and I both know that we're not here for formalities, are we?
That perception check is to see if she's lying to me.
She is 100% human.
Okay.
There's other things about it she's not telling you, but she is 100% human.
Well, there has to be a reason you're here. Interestingly enough, in a place that is sort of void of all humanity.
Well, I devoted my life to researching the sea and its life and trying to preserve it. And for years now, we've been stuck in this sort of miasma that's not allowed for any of that to happen. And since when you spend so much of your life dedicated to something and it suddenly gets ripped away, you do everything you can to try and put it back in order. And since, you know, neither side seems to want to do anything, I figured that I'm going to start pushing the needle and pushing the envelope and trying to get this done. I frankly don't care which side wins, as long as everything gets opened back up.
Then you do care which side wins. Because if the wrong side wins, nothing's going to get opened back up. Everything's just going to get destroyed.
I mean, you say destroyed. I say it allows for more marine life.
And you don't want to live to see the marine life succeed.
Oh, don't you worry about that. I'll live. I've got that little detail taken care of. And as she says that, she does this sort of weird transformation thing, and standing where she was is that.
What is that?
That's a picture.
It's a thing.
That's definitely a thing.
That's a jar.
No, that's a cannon on a chain.
Oh,
I
it's
thought it was a
cannon.
vase.
I thought it was a vase too.
That's definitely a cannon on a chain.
Okay.
This
So-
cannon's off the chain.
That's the last panel we get there. We will now make our way back to Chicago with the lady in the pink dress leaning up against the door. So, is it even appropriate to call you two gentlemen?
Yeah, I guess. You know, I don't really cared too much.
I was more looking at the fact that it looks like they sent a boy and his pet.
Oh, I'm not his pet.
Could have fooled me.
Oh, apparently we did.
I mean, based on the look on his face, it looks like you're an emotional support animal.
No, I'm just an otter.
Even better. Sea creatures. Going to make things quite interesting, wouldn't you say?
I just see me and you and me out here.
Oh, you see this form. But in reality, like I said, it's going to be quite fun with you being a sea creature. And there is a sort of a crack of lightning that basically hits her. And when it's done, that is in it her place.
Oh, I see a theme.
I mean, the theme's been pretty wide open since we laid this out.
Huh. I see.
So now we switch back to our marching band.
I was really hoping we'd fight the marching band personally.
So, what brings you to fine gentlemen here?
Well, honestly, you don't really need to mind us if you're going to practice. You can do that. We just, we're just patrolling the area, protecting it from harm.
Funny, considering sanctuary cities are supposed to be off limits. What would you be protecting it from?
So, I mean, you're absolutely right. Just in case.
We're part of a joint task force, human and metahuman, to patrol the area.
Oh, you do realize how absolutely adorable you sound, don't you?
I am adorable.
Thank you.
But he's a squirrel. He's more adorable.
I
Oh,
You're a bad guy, aren't you?
I mean, I don't think I'm a bad guy. I don't think I'm a good guy.
You're just
I'm
a guy.
just a guy.
All the people that are, like, in the marching band, by the way, what are they doing right now?
Slowly starting to fade away as the illusion's starting to crumble.
Crud. Anton, I think I'm starting to understand what he meant when he said he's the people.
Yeah. I am
You
too.
know what's funny about you two?
Can we just skip the banter and just get into punching?
Well,
I kind of want to know what was funny about us, but
we can. But I'll tell you what's funny anyway. You guys are too rigid, too stiff. You need to relax, put a little anarchy in your life. And you guys get this one.
Sorry.
That thing looks kind of hard to punch, Anton.
I mean, this is my Resident Zelda reference because we have the Four Swords Adventures going on here.
Yes.
I'm not too worried about punching him. And yes, I'm. Now that that's here, let's do this.
And we'll shift back to our last panel in Vancouver, and Malkir and Ven and the cat burglar in the alleyway.
So has Malkir picked up on the glowing eyes yet?
Oh, absolutely.
So he just kind of looks over his shoulder at Ven and just goes, "You were saying."
I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. And at this point, the kid smiles and goes, "It was a good effort, but sometimes it's just better to trust your instinct." And the final one. Boop.
Ooh.
Get it? Cat burglar?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, they all hate me again. I don't know why they would do that. Boop.
So Malkir looks over at Ven and goes, "Now we have problems, and now we get to fight."
We do get to fight. And we are going to run this combat concordantly, round by round at a time.
Figured.
So we're going to go ahead and roll for initiative, but I'm not going to keep the turn order on screen. I'm going to keep it here on a notepad because of the way we're running this.
Okay. So you want us to roll it anyway?
Yep, I do.
It makes sense.
It
He's
does?
probably gonna do like combat. He's probably gonna do each combat beat, like instead of like Lutra, it's your turn, Kestrel, it's your turn. Like he'll just have Lutra's group, Anton's group.
At least I got
Exactly
the one out of the
what I'm
way
doing.
now.
Oh,
How bad was it?
I rolled a 1, but
I rolled a 3.
yeah, it's more like you.
Okay, so
as I said, it's a good roll to get that out of the way, Ed. I guess.
alright, so that. We have that. That moment where one of your people crits and it's still way too slow to even matter. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go around in scene order, how we started it. So we're going to start back in Chicago, and that technically makes it, unfortunately for our two heroes there, its turn.
It.
No, it's an it, definitely.
I mean, if we're going by names, it's Adramelk, but he just sort of smiles as this giant thing appears, and he goes, "As I was saying, you're a sea creature. You are quite adept at being crispy. And it is attacking you with Flash Arc. I don't think a 10 is going to hit you, though.
I'm going to go with no.
As this is like regular lightning bolt is fun, but have you guys played Super Mario RPG?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know the thick lightning bolt that Mallow summons?
Yeah.
Yes!
That is what this is. This is the thick lightning bolt.
That's so fun.
Lutra's up.
Okay. So, how far away is Lutra from this thing?
You're in a small office room, so
I'm just wondering.
reasonably close.
Well, I have a move I haven't pulled off in a long, long time that I'm thinking about using right now.
Goody.
Agile Feint.
Well,
What'd you say?
waiting for you to do something.
Oh, sorry.
All right, describe how you're doing this.
Well, unlike before when Lucha just tried to be cute and whatnot, Agile Feint is, I would assume something like...
It's using acrobatics to get someone off guard.
Right. So I would assume in this instance, he kind of fakes going one way and just ducks down and punches the other way.
Okay.
Because that's what he's doing. He's punching. With Otter Strike. And this is not a... Why does everything keep... Okay, hold on. There.
Ooh.
It's a 16, though.
All right, so roll to confirm that crit, please.
Probably not.
Actually, because of the Agile Feint, it will confirm.
Nice.
To be fair, if it wasn't for the Agile Feint, the crit wouldn't have hit.
Ouch.
Okay. Well, thank God I did that then. So,
Fortitude, I assume?
yeah, it's a fortitude save.
Okay. So, you come in and you punch this thing. And you imbue whatever this is with some really weird form of whatever cosmic energy you have. And you definitely feel something happening. Unfortunately for you, you can also feel something else happening. The electrical discharge when you physically touch this thing. Go ahead and make me a DC 25 toughness save. But it is stunned.
Does that just happen? Because the 15 doesn't hit me in any way, shape, or form.
No, but I forgot to take the roll off.
Okay,
it's just the
okay,
reaction
gotcha.
damage. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I'm going to use my
Ouch.
hero point to reroll that. Okay, I rolled a...
11.
Of course.
So you'll take a bruise as you weren't expecting quite that much static electricity, but you have succeeded in stunning this thing. So it can't move. It can still do things that don't require it to move,
No, I get that.
but it can't move. Unfortunately, you definitely impaired what Rebound was going to initially do. So In this case, he's just going to sort of backflip to the back of the room and, well, just rip a boomerang out of whatever utility belt thing he's wearing and chuck a boomerang at this thing.
Oh, he's going to do something.
Nope. He's definitely not going to do that. It's one of those boomerangs you pull it out. It's supposed to be one of those that forms into the boomerang, and he goes to throw it, and it just falls and breaks.
It just slams it directly in front of him, like 2 feet in front of him. Like, boom! Dang it!
Yup. All right, scene shifting to that would be Kestrel and Anton were next, and Kestrel is up.
Marvelous. How big is this thing?
It would be considered large sized.
Okay.
Borderline huge.
That's a big thing.
It is. Why do you think I put it in this damn stadium?
Does it have a face?
There is a face on that picture, yes.
Okay. Well, first things first, Kestrel's going to store that orb into his satchel so he doesn't accidentally drop that thing. But he's going to use... Actually, yeah. He's going to use his nice... I think it's called hypersonic punching. Where he's going to, like, kind of see if he can find a weak spot on this thing. Is it... hypersonic assault. Okay. Yeah. He's going to fly up to this thing and do a bunch of punches on different parts of the body. See if we get anything with this nice burst of damage.
Okay. Well, that would be a rank 12, so that's a dodge check of DC 2. Factoring in movement things and all that, I'll add the numbers into this. So he manages to get out of... Surprisingly moves swiftly-ish for a giant floating huge monster thing, but Kestrel will get this because of sort of like the nature of being in speed all the time.
Yes.
He's not necessarily avoiding the punches as more these little flare-ups of wind are sort of deflecting the punches. So he's still going to have to make a save at DC 22 because you're still connecting with some of them because even the wind can't quite keep up with the full flurry of what you're doing.
Nice.
But you definitely notice that there's definitely sort of like some sort of wind control thing happening here.
Gotcha.
And he will take a bruise.
Alrighty, after doing that, Kestrel's got to shout at Anton. He's repelling stuff somehow. I don't know if you got anything that can like suppress that, but just be careful, okay?
I have an idea.
And Kestrel's gonna fly back, probably about a 50 feet out of range of this thing to kind of get a good view of what it's gonna do.
Well, you can put that idea to use because it's your turn.
Well, Anton's going to whip out the Anton into a whip. And whiff horribly.
And yes, you are definitely going to whiff on that one.
Oh, I have an awesome idea, but I don't know if we can do it.
So yeah, you miss. It's its turn, and it just sort of looks, and the face is sort of up on the top, is sort of emotionless, but it's almost like it's enjoying this. And the four swords that it has they stop pointing down, they start to point upwards, and they start sort of spinning, and they create this sort of, this tornado of some sort. And it's throwing this sort of blade of wind right back at Anton, because Anton's the closer one, and he's attacking with Winds of the Wheel. Does a 21 hit you, Anton?
Yes.
By how many tiers?
My dodge is 17.
Oh, so by 1 tier. So I will need you to make a DC 23 toughness save.
Yeah, we'll take the hero point there.
So you take... Are you taking his hero point?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So that would be a 17. So you will still take a bruise and a daze. So this thing definitely, hurts a little bit. And we will now switch to Vancouver and the giant smiling lion thing. Ven actually gets to go first here. Pull up the pages. And he just sort of takes to the sky and looking around, just, to start with, just going to throw a wind blast and see what happens at this giant cat thing. I assume that hits. Oh yeah, that hits. Not going to do much, but it hits. Yeah, didn't do much. Like, this thing just sort of has, like, again, the Cheshire Cat grin smiles as this bounces off its fur and just does nothing. Malkir.
So Melchior is going to do a backflip to get a little bit of distance. And Ven's not close to it now, right?
No, he's up about 40 feet in the air.
Okay. Seeing that he didn't really take any damage from a direct blast, I'm going to use this.
Well, you're probably going to hit him. Yes, you are. He will take the full brunt of that DC 26. So you envelop him with this line of fire and a little bit of magma, and you definitely smell burnt fur. But aside from the smell of burnt fur lingering in the area, he doesn't look scathed at all. And he just sort of looks and goes, well, if you really want to play that way, I can. He punches the ground next to him, causing it to crack, basically rips up part of the alleyway, which is basically like a giant rock at this point, and just chucks it at you, Malkir. Pardon the pun on this attack name, but he's attacking you with these rocks are getting bolder.
You don't really mean that apology.
Nope, I don't. Does a 27 hit you, Malk?
I have a 22, so yes.
Yeah. So I'll need you to make a toughness save at DC 29 as this giant chunk of asphalt and boulder just takes a good portion of you out. That would be a bruise and a daze right there.
I'll use my hero point. Just give me 1 sec.
Yep. You're right. You're right, Krim. I'm not at all apologizing truly for that.
Did it not go through?
I still only see the first toughness roll. There's the second one. You will still take a bruise, but you weather a good portion of it. But this is still a giant piece of asphalt coming at you. And we will move to Orlando. Seraphim is going to start us off over there.
Okay, so Seraphim just stays right where he's at. Kind of like, really, you want to do this? Is this going to solve anything? Or, I mean, if you want to leave right now, you can. Save us all some time. Save you a little bit of hurt.
The voice that responds sounds very bubbly, not in the, like, hi, happy-go-lucky bubbly, but the I'm trying to talk as I'm drinking water bubbly.
Burbly.
Yes. If I wanted to leave, I would have. You're here to stop me from acquiring what we need. So, why would I leave?
So Seraphim's wings like fully expand, and behind them becomes like a faint glimpse of what would look like a glyph just forming, and out of that glyph is just a piercing light that goes right towards Famfret.
That will unfortunately miss. At this point, Famfret sort of stares back at Seraphim. Well, at least if we're going to be at a place that was for entertainment, you have at least provided the proper fireworks. But let me show you how to really blast. And shoulders the cannon on a chain and just fires a huge torrent of water directly at Seraphim with briny cannon blasts. I'm assuming that's going to miss.
That does definitely miss.
I'm liking these names.
Oh, names are my thing. Like, I have too much fun naming things. So at this point, Lionheart's going to sort of spread out after seeing sort of how powerful that thing was, and sort of in a very similar manner to what you just saw with Seraphim, except no wings. There's going to be another glyph that sort of appears, which this is actually kind of weird because him and I didn't talk about how this is going to manifest at all. He has no idea what powers are happening. So a similar glyph appears, but this one's sort of like the opposite of the one that appeared above Seraphim. And, well, we're getting, instead of this, barrage of light and pure light energy, we get the exact opposite. We get black energy. And Lionheart is attacking with shining darkness, which will unfortunately also miss. So, yeah, we're pretty inept. We have one heck of a light show going on over here at SeaWorld, but nothing more than that. We're shifting back to Chicago now, or, Capricorn. And Adremalk is sort of just like trying to force itself to move, and just, like, can't. So its turn is literally trying to shake off this affliction, which is probably not going to work. Lutra.
Okay,
Your hair is standing up a little on end from the shock.
yeah. And that happened just because I hit it with a melee attack, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, so Lucha's gonna kind of, like, do this cool little thing where he jumps, like, after taking that shock, he kind of jumps upwards, and as he's jumping backwards, he pulls out his crossbow and fires.
And suddenly, down in Houston, Anton gets hit with an arrow.
Well, potentially. Probably pretty close.
Hi, Anton.
Yeah. So, like I said, stunned, they can't move, but they can still kind of defend themselves.
Yeah,
that
no,
makes sense?
it does, because it doesn't actually lower their toughness.
Yeah, so the 17 is not going to hit.
No, I mean, considering you told me a 27 wasn't actually going to hit before.
Right. The one good thing, quote-unquote good thing, about stun is stun means they cannot move, which means they technically cannot get out of the way of area attacks. So now that you've moved out of the way, Rebound produces another boomerang, and this one has a little blinking red light that he pushes right before he throws it. It directly hits Adremalk in the chest, and then goes boom.
Yes. Even better than I thought it would be. Even better.
Yes, just complete and utter boom. And a bruise will happen. As bits of the wall and whatever remnants of books were in this office just start splintering everywhere as this explosion happens. And we're back down to Houston. Castro.
Alrighty. As Kestrel's up in the air there, He's actually got message Anton because we have nice little communication. Anton, you can make the Anton into a rope, right?
Well, I just made it into a whip. Yeah.
How long can you make that thing?
I don't know.
Is it I don't know, is it really long? Or I don't know, is it maybe not that long?
I don't know. Is that I haven't tried yet.
I got an idea. And we're going to try to initiate a team attack.
Okay.
Okay.
This is why I don't like giving you two time to plan these things.
We're going to see if this works. But on Anton's turn, I mean, he's right after me anyway.
Yeah, you two, yeah. So, I mean, in this situation, it doesn't matter, you know.
The idea is that Kestrel's going to fly down to Anton. He's got 60 miles of movement speed he can do and around.
I'm not worried about Kestrel's ability to move and do this.
It's more like the fact that go ahead, Anton.
We're going to turn the Anton on a rope and hug tie this guy.
You're basically going Chicken Walker from Star Wars.
Actually, exactly that.
Well, we're in Houston. We're at the rodeo.
Actually, basically, yes. Specifically, we're also looping around the swords and everything, so we can tie everything close to this thing's body and just basically cut off whatever it's doing.
Okay, so yes. For team attacks, you both roll. So who is taking the lead in this team attack?
Kestrel would be.
Okay. Kestrel, go ahead and roll. Pick a close attack of yours and roll with that. I don't care which one.
Okay. Quick question for you, too. I also do have +5 for team attack support.
Yep, I'll factor all that in afterwards. But okay. The roll, that doesn't affect the roll.
Didn't know. Okay, so just do a close attack.
Some sort of close attack.
Alrighty. So let's do the supersonic claws, because that's speed and stuff. So.
Yep. Alrighty. Nice. Anton, go ahead and roll an Anton attack check. Okay. So basically what's going to happen here is Kestrel's attack hits anyway. The 32 100% hits. Because you beat the 15, you would provide a +2 bonus. So, because this is a weird sort of damage-based attack combining with a weird affliction type of thing, what I'm basically doing is I'm kind of improvising some grabbing rules here. So, I'm going to have this thing roll a dodge check. And there'll be modifiers that I'm applying to his roll that may or may not be seen. And then we'll figure out what goes from there.
Okay. Oh no!
Don't worry. I'm not gonna completely ruin it. Okay.
Where's Chet?
So you're zipping around, and for some reason, this nanotech lash just keeps going and going and going. And going and going and going, and you're waiting for the tug of this to stop, and it never does. So you've got this thing wrapped up as long as you don't stop moving.
This is doable.
Or until Anton figures out how to lash the whip.
Unless Anton can power this thing up, can you zap this rope or fill for earth energy or something? I don't know.
He could, but he has to do that on his next turn because this turn was combining everything.
Yeah.
So that's sort of what's happening right now is you guys have to keep this sort of thing going, and the one bad part for you guys here is against any other one of these Braves, this would be they probably wouldn't be able to do much about it. But you're spinning something around that controls the wind.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately for Anton, he still can control the wind.
This is bad.
This is bad. But, because of what's going on, you keep spinning this thing around. So he's kind of mad, very mad. But with all the amount of spin that's going on, you're creating a ton of wind energy. And he knows the general direction Anton is in because of where the rope is coming from. So he's trying to throw this massive amount of wind energy back at Anton by using Wrath of the Storm.
Oh dear.
Does a 19 hit you, Anton?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay, for the record, that has a 0 attack bonus. That's a straight die roll.
17 is my dodge
Okay.
DC.
So this massive, like the only other time you've seen this much wind energy was when you guys were on top of Ayer's Rock,
Ooh.
and whatever that thing that was fighting Phantasm summoned a bunch of the North Wind. That was the only other time you've seen this much wind. And it crashes into you like a tanker.
Anton!
So go ahead and roll me a toughness save. DC is 35.
Oh no!
Oh boy.
Do you have any more hero points?
Nope.
Anton's going for a wild ride at the rodeo.
So
No!
we turn the page to the next comic panel. And this wind, like, the good thing for Kestrel is the nanotech rope is still allowing to spin. The bad news for Anton is that he just scored 3 points and gets kicked directly through the uprights.
Hey,
The net that normally catches the field goals is not there, so Anton lands about 35 rows up in the seats, just a crumpled mass, with the nanotech rope still filtering out as this thing is spinning.
It's like a fishing line. It's awesome.
Basically.
oh.
Anton! Oh no!
So we're going to shift to Vancouver. And at this point, Ven is just sort of flabbergasted at what he's just seen. Because, well, this is 2 pretty strong attacks that this thing is just taken up. So, funnily enough, the attack names that Chaos has, I literally stole from Ven's initial character sheet. So the attack that just completely wrecked Anton, which is funny because it was a wind attack wrecking an Earth guy, is now being transferred up here to have a wind attack try and wreck an Earth guy. So we get this transition scene of all this wind energy crashing into Anton and field goaling him. And on the comic panel, the wind energy sort of sweeps into the gutter, and you turn the page, and that wind energy has now swept up over Ven's head in like a really cool transition thing. And he is using the same attack on Hashmal that Chaos just used on Anton, Wrath of the Storm. The bad news is that, unfortunately, is going to miss. It's very hard to miss Hashmal. That, unfortunately, does. So, that giant crater of asphalt that just got picked up is now an even larger crater of asphalt. Malkir.
Sorry, my mic was up.
Of course it was. Mark it off with your bingo cards, everybody.
Whee!
Bingo.
So this thing is on all 4, correct?
This thing it's on all fours. It's standing straight up with those 2 giant hammer-like arms.
Okay, it looked like a cat almost. So.
Oh, it is a cat, but it's sort of standing upright right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna specifically target one of its legs and try to hamstring it with my scythe.
Okay. Well, you will hit. You will definitely hit. It's not that hard to hit. Ven just sucked. And you will, like, this thing is shocked because it wasn't expecting to get hurt. And you hear this. Wow! I'm not going to roar because it's past 11 o'clock and there are people. But this thing roars and howls in pain.
No, it takes a secondary effect next turn, correct?
Yeah, just remind me to roll it on your turn. That's when it will roll that. And it is just roaring, and it's basically almost starting to throw a temper tantrum, and it just takes these 2 arms and basically double axe handles the ground and creates, for lack of a better description, almost like this cylinder of stone coming right up at you. Again, not sorry for the puns. He is attacking you with Rock You Like a Hurricane. So this is an area damage, so I'll need you to make a dodge check, DC 24. So this thing sort of, for lack of a better description, uppercuts the hell out of you. And toughness save of DC 29, please. So, again, we have another scene of Team Rocket sort of blasting off as there is no field goal posts in Vancouver, but Melchior definitely gets uppercutted a fair good portion away, as this is now 2 incapacitated shots back to back. Let's shift to Florida. Seraphim?
So with all the light going on, Seraphim starts to glow red.
Ooh, man.
And then white flames just kind of shoot out of it.
You will hit. You won't hit by any tears, but you will definitely hit. And you will... y'all haven't got beaten. But yeah, you definitely start pounding on this, on Famfrit, and you know, where these, you know, the fire and the holy sort of hits this thing, it's actually going to take 2 bruises due to, well, this is a fallen angel being hit with holy magic. It hurts a lot. And it is its turn, and you hear this sort of, again, another sort of really loud roar of pain. And in just sort of like a massive amount of just like anger and pain, it just starts firing blast after blast after blast at you, Seraphim, and it is just attacking you a deluge. But I'm pretty sure an 18 doesn't hit.
It doesn't, just like the 19 didn't.
Mm-hmm. At least if I'm going to hit with style. At this point, you know, you see Lionheart, and he sees that the sort of the light energy and the holy energy has done slightly more damage, and he's like, well, not really much I can do, but he kind of gets this idea a little bit, and he definitely does some quick hand motions, and there's no glyph this time. There's just where the dark magic he has sort of would be. He's sort of highly focusing, and between his dark magic, and he kind of steals a little bit of the light energy of some of the multi-attacks that flew by Famfrit. He sort of like draws that back into his spell that he's casting and sends it back out at Famfrit, and he's trying to use Entangling Light, which is unfortunately going to miss because 19 seems to be the number we keep rolling. Back to Chicago, and a still sunned Addermilk.
Okay, so we just established that stun means you can't get out of area of effects, right?
Well, because in order to dodge an area of effect, you need to be able to dodge out of the way. If you can't move, you can't dodge.
Okay, so what Lucha's going to do is he's going to stand back. Rebound's kind of back away too, right?
He's up. He's basically got himself up in the corner on a bookshelf.
Perfect. Okay, so Lucha's going to stand there and see this, and he's kind of realized how tough this guy seems to be. So he's going to stand back, Gonna take a few deep breaths. He's gonna widen his hands out, and then he's gonna clap his hands together really hard and use another move I haven't used in a very long time, the Otter Clap Stunner. It's a DC 21 toughness. It's an area of effect, so... Actually, it's 22, I'm sorry, that's my bad.
So is it Fortitude?
Yeah.
Okay.
It also leaves him vulnerable. Lucha. Because that's distracting.
So he's now dazed and vulnerable, which again is good because that cuts his active defenses in half, which is good for you guys.
Lucha is also vulnerable as the ricochet from doing that sends him
it's really not going to matter because I can't break out of the initial stun. So.
Right.
But we're having more explosions because why bother throwing anything else when you can throw explosions?
Exactly.
More explosions. All right, we are moving ourselves back to Houston, where Anton has just been kicked as a field goal. Kestrel, you are still spinning around this thing with what at this point is at least 3 to 4 miles of nanotech lash.
Sweet, the infinite Anton. I gotta keep doing this thing. But yeah, I am still kind of zipping in and out around him. Wind, you said, was coming out of this thing, or is it like generating it through some sort of other means?
Well, you're spinning it around as basically you're generating wind as you run around it. It's spinning around as you're spinning the ropes around it. So the wind is being generated by the two of you basically circling you.
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay. I'm trying to hog-tie it here. While I wait for Anton to do his thing. Actually, can I hold my action, I guess, until Anton does his thing?
You saw Anton just get field goal. He's not doing much of anything.
That's fair.
I think Anton's out of this fight.
Yes, Anton is definitely out at this point.
Okay, well, if they still trying to wrap up and tie this thing up, I'm going to at least come up for a nice bout of hypersonic claws to its face. What's this one? It's supersonic claws, there it is. So, multi-tack. Oh, that was terrible.
That was terrible.
Can I hero point that?
Do you have one still?
I have 4 of them. Give them a lot.
If you still have one, you can absolutely hero point that.
Yeah, we gotta take this thing out. And Anton's in dire straits. Yes, I'll hero point and re-roll that thingy.
It's too late for me, but I realized I just have 2 more hero points that I haven't used.
I got you covered on that side. You're one of the two heroes who has a healing ability. The 26 will hit.
Marvelous.
Not by any tears, but you will hit. And you will bruise it because of the bruise previously inflicted.
Cool beans.
It actually came into play.
Yes. Anton,
Yay.
you have 9 more rounds before you wake up and stop seeing birdies.
Oh, goodness.
Well, you're actually out?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Actually, I lied. That's actually going to do more damage. So hold on. Because that's actually a DC 31 because Wrath of the Storm makes him vulnerable. So he is technically bruised and dazed.
Oh, sweet.
Yes, because Wrath of the Storm is an unreliable, distracting attack.
It was a multi-attack I did, by the way. I don't know if that plays...
Yeah, that makes it the DC 31.
Okay, good.
So I'm still out for 9 rounds, though, right?
Yes, you're still up for 9 rounds.
Oh, crud. Can I do anything to get him up, by the way? Or is that not something I can do?
I'll see y'all
Do you
next
have a
week.
healing ability?
No.
Then you may have to find a way to get creative.
Okay.
I'll see y'all next week.
Yeah, but at this point, this thing is still spinning, and doesn't want to... is smart enough to realize that he's probably not hitting you with the big, stupid attack. So he's going to hit you with the less big, stupid attack and try and hit you with Winds of the Wheel. Does a 23 hit you, Kestrel?
Is that dodge or parry?
That will be dodge.
Definitely won't hit me. I'm a 22 base and I get +5.
+5.
I'm sorry, is it area attack or no?
No, it's just a regular attack.
Oh, wait, let me double check that. Jeez. Let's see. Dodge is 22, so yeah, that would probably...
So he doesn't take any bonuses for multi-attack. I'm just going to need you to make a DC 23 toughness save, as you kind of get smacked in the face with a little more wind than you were expecting.
Okay.
Nice. All right, we are shifting back to Vancouver. And again, as I said, lucky for Malkir, he is with one of the two heroes who has a healing ability. And as Malkir is sort of getting Team Rocketed away, more of that wind that you saw just sort of rushes over, because Ven's healing is shapeable area. So you feel this sort of rush of wind come over you, Malkir. And 27 is a very good roll for that. So go ahead and heal your incapacitated and a bruise. And you're now flying through the air.
Okay, so using his reflexes, can I kick off a building?
You certainly can.
I'm gonna try to kick off a building and hit the ground in a ready position.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. You have enough training to be able to do that.
Okay, and since it is my turn, I'm just gonna remind you of the secondary effect of burn.
Yep. You'll take another bruise as he's screaming in even more pain from whatever that cut was. He wasn't expecting that.
So, am I close enough to attack again? Or am I...
You'll have to get yourself there. You have to move, but you can get there.
Okay, I'm going to rush in while he's somewhat distracted. I'm going to actually aim for the exact same spot and do the same thing.
Fair enough. And you crit, which is a good thing. I'm assuming you want to add +5 to your DC?
Yes.
Which is a good thing you did. Note for the secondary effect, that +5 will still add on there. At this point, this thing is just screaming mad, and it doesn't even have the wherewithal at this point to try and pick up a rock or do anything. It just tries to punch you. Like, it takes one of its big, meaty hammer arms and tries to punch you. Does a 16 hit?
No, it's 22.
Okay, so it just punches the ground next to you. And did I just say big, meaty hammer arms?
You did.
Yes.
Orlando. Seraphim.
So suddenly, all the red flame surrounding Seraphim subsides, and Seraphim's standing there with something in his hand. Then Seraphim starts to glow, and, well, we've seen this attack.
Yes, we have. Unfortunately, an 18 is still not going to hit. Because we've established that 18 does not hit in this fight at all.
Well, all that stuff was ranged. This
True.
is melee.
It still doesn't hit. Dodge and parry are the same on this one, so. So it's, Fanfrit's turn. And, again, just sort of still mad at the sort of holy fire attack, is just still firing rapid fire blasts of water at Seraphim. And again, we've determined 18s don't hit in this combat. And finally, Lionheart's going to go and at this point, the magic doesn't seem to be working. So, sort of stops the magic. And this is the first time you guys have seen him do this. Sort of pulls out two, what appear to be wooden nightsticks from somewhere on his back. And now is wielding these two, well, for lack of a better term, they're tonfa. And just at this point, just has thrown the magic to the side and is now just walking up and basically tonfa punching the heck out of Fanfrit. And will finally hit. By 2 tiers, no less. So that would be a 22. Okay. Why is it that all the magic in the world doesn't do anything, but as soon as you start punching something, it takes bruises?
I mean, yes.
Things nail.
So what I'm guessing happened here is I went flying by. It was so distracted that that Lionheart just went in and pummeled it.
Basically, just so this has all been going on. So we turn the page, and unfortunately, it's the last page of the comic here. And our last page of the comic is the 4x4 grid, and in each of the 4 squares, it's sort of like the face-off of our heroes, sort of like squaring off with whichever one of these sort of braves they're at. Well, most of our heroes, Anton's still a field goal. And we just get on the bottom to be continued. So, thank you all very much for watching. We hope you had a wonderful evening here with us. I do apologize for the combat drawing a little longer, but it's the first time we've really had combat here, so we're going to embrace it when we can.
And you're still rolling like you normally do.
Right.
Yes-ish. But anyway, again, thank you all very much for watching. So on behalf of our full crew here, the Crimson Addicts, Chameleon Addicts, OPT Lawyer, Dark Falls, and the Racer, I am TG, reminding everybody to, of course, as always, keep hailing.
Bye.
Good night.